Hello everybody, I am AngryBird. We're back again with another Steel Division 2 League game, Group number 1, game/leg number 2, Amber T versus Lossa. Amber T this time opting to choose the same division, the 352nd Infantry, but he's decided to change income to Maverick, and we'll see how that does for him. In terms of his deck, very much the same as last time, do not see much difference really, and the only real difference I kind of picked up from the brief look that we had was the motorbike commander in B phase, so not much difference there at all, and I guess perhaps he's just countering the income choice of Lossa by putting himself on the same income and not really choosing to play the game differently, just shutting down that income difference. And for Lossa, let's have a look. He is playing the 9th Guards Cavalry and he has chosen Maverick income. So Lossa very much going to be using the numbers game to his advantage, and 9th Guards Cavalry, they certainly are a good division in 1v1. They're often overlooked, but I find that paired with Maverick income, you can get a lot of units out very cheaply because the unit costs are low, and paired with the Maverick income, you can get a lot of units onto the field by the end of Phase B and really be pushing hard for that victory. The units themselves, a lot of Shermans, a lot of Kazaki infantry, so can be decent, although sometimes picked off by heavier units. The Air Force can also be quite a key one for the 9th Guards Cavalry. But actually, Lossa choosing the 9th Guards and Amber T, I am aware, I have seen him play the 9th Guards Cavalry many a time, and I've come up against him in the ranked queue quite a few times playing that division, so he definitely knows the 9th Guard Cavalry inside and out, and I'm expecting he knows how to counter the division as well. Right, the two players have started the game. Let's have a quick look at the deployment. Looks like Amber T on the left hand side going very strong into this northern position, similar to Lossa as well, and much weaker in the southern area. Lossa relying on the fast Jeep units of the Sapri PPSH and the PTRS 41 to kind of capture this central town, and Amber T relying on a lot of IG-18s, so a hell of a lot of IG-18s in this central southern area, so interesting start from both players. Let's have a look at the town. Amber T unloading his units early and giving Lossa time to get in there with the Kazakis, but numbers wise Lossa is very much overwhelmed in that central town, and he's going to be lucky to hold on to it the way that the two teams have lined up. And first aircraft in very early on from Lossa, the Lag 3 series coming in with the strike on the IG-18s, and getting that Air Force into play is going to be key for Lossa to do, but I'm guessing that Amber T, he is very good strong with his Air Force as well, so he will counter that, I'm sure. The push in the northern sector, Kazaki is moving across the open with Sapri PPSH as well, and Lossa looking like he's committing to this northern push. The Marder 3 coming in and targeting the infantry on the road with the HE shells. The Grenadiers not in a great position, and they're taking fire from the IG-18, or the OB-25, as well as the two Emchers in the rear and the Raycon Razvedka tank, engaging the Marder 3s across the river, and Does get the shooter kill on one of them, but he's got to be careful against these modders. He's kind of Ambertees could well have a two-pronged assault here on Lossa, although now backing off with the Marder 3s, and the Razvedka does go down. I'm not sure whether it's the 38mm or the must have been the Pak 38. Yes, it was. And the Sherman's now engaging, and certainly when you get a few Shermans onto the field, even if one of them goes down, the rest of them tend to take care of the Pak guns. So Lossa kind of losing the bulk of his forces, but still has the Kazaki, one squad of Kazakis there, as well as Stos, you know, and against the Stos troop, they can certainly do well. The Stos troop has the MP 2 MP40 and 3 PPS 41, so now they've moved into range, gets the Molotov cocktail off, and yeah, the Stos troop will now start to pick off the Kazaki. Reinforcing troops coming into that northern section from Lossa, and a second Lag 3 series now coming in. I'm not sure whether that's the same one rearmed or whether that's a new one, but looking like it was targeting the Pak gun at the back and has now turned away after it's taken down. The southern area is kind of in the control of Lossa, although plenty of chance for Ambertee to remain in this. His troops have not really been destroyed, so potentially just biding his time at the moment, reacting to this northern aggression from Lossa. Bringing in the Pak 38s into the northern sector, along with 2 Grenadiers and 2 Panzer B2s there, trundling along, eventually will get into play. The Marder 3s have kind of moved out of the way for now, but I feel like if they move back into this previous position, they could well easily pick up the Emcher kills. The Emcher engaging 2 Pak 38s, and this is not a good play. Tracks broken, transmission damaged, driver killed, and although it has taken out one of the Pak 38s, I think the Lag 3 series as well was coming in for a shot on that front Pak 38, and once the Emcher took it out, turned away, but the Pak 38 does take out the Emcher in reply, and that's not too bad an engagement on Lossa's side. He can afford to throw away those Emchers, but if he gets rid of these Pak 38s, then slowly he's getting rid of the anti-tank on the side of Ambertee. Smoke going down in the woods from the Gren Furies, and the advancing Kazaki doing well. He has the Kazaki PPSH there as well, and they will do well in this close quarters area. The Sherman firing at the reinforcing infantry, and lovely little position in that little light forest there, kind of shutting down the reinforcement road, and Ambertee having to pull the Flakveling off the road to make sure that that survives. He is putting some pressure into this central town, but Kazaki PPSH have reinforced and do pick up the surrender there, and 2 more Kazaki PPSH moving round the side, and could be a decent play here from Lossa. He's got to be careful, there's a lot of Stos troop in there, but this could work out well. The Stos troop and throw the Molotov, but the PPSH are strong at close range. They do get pinned down now by the Stos troop, and they are surviving because of the second unit. The lag strike now comes in, although I think that was not very accurate, and second lag strike coming in, and Lossa really liking these early lag airplane strikes, pushing forward with more Kazaki PPSH, but these Stos trooping they're holding up fantastically well with the Molotov cocktails. They're just throwing them down and not letting the PPSH units of Lossa get into decent positions. The Valentine gets taken down by the HS-129B3, and he's flying right into the Zenart 37mm, and both players opting for a kind of a fairly heavy aircraft start, so it will be interesting to see how this goes on. Lossa does pick up the 1311, and that's because he's picked up this flag here, although I'm not sure he'll hold it at the moment. All he has is 6 Kazaki PPSH there, and eventually when they're found, or he does lose that flag now with the territory, and they may well struggle to hold that position. The M42 gun does engage the B2s as well as the heat shells from the OB25, and who's going to win out here? This one's difficult to tell. Interesting battle there. The OB25 does go down. Panzer B2's fantastic HE damage, and down goes the M42 gun as well. And wow, Lossa's forces looking weak now on this top northern side. Valentine coming into the central area and taking shots at the Panzer B2 as well. And these Valentines, they are great vehicles, so I do enjoy watching them be used. They are just unfortunately suffer because they're quite slow, but fantastic gunner on them. Engaging the HE shells right at that building in front of them, and Amber T just microing his Ersatztruppen just the other side of the building. Down in the south, not that much happening. Amber T's been able to push forward into this forest with the Ersatztruppen, and Lossa kind of happy with what he's got there at the moment. And another lag strike coming into the northern area, as well as an Su-76, so looking to help out this northern section. It looks like he's going after the Ersatztruppen. Beautiful, look at that. Gets the falling back, well, suppresses them, and then instantly gets the surrender. Fantastic little strike there from that lag plane. The Valentine is just reversing down the road to give himself a nice position, and 2 Su-76s coming in, so Lossa this time opting to bring in some artillery. And interesting play that, because I feel like this northern area needs more infantry. Really, he only has the 3 remaining soldiers in the Kazaki PPSH squad in the north and the 5 remaining soldiers in the centre, so very cautious approach here, I think, from both players. Amber T has got the commandant in position in this sort of rear central compound, and that will buff up the Grenführer, and he has got the Stosstruppen at 3 stars, so perhaps that's why they've fared so well against these Kazaki PPSHs. And the M42 gun, is that going to engage the... No, it's engaging the reinforcement road and does get a crew panicked against the B2s, although Amber T, beautiful micro, just reversing them back and showing frontal armour, reversing them away, and that M42 will struggle to penetrate from that distance. So more reinforcements going into the northern area with the 3 pioneers from Amber T, and I'm surprised Lossa, who in the past has been very sort of manoeuvre warfare, is feeling so static with these 9th Cavalry units. He brings in the Su-76s to target that town, and I guess that's because he was having so much trouble pushing in there that he's brought in these artillery pieces. Amber T microing back his Grenführer to pull them out of the line of fire. The M42 gun going at these Panzer B2s again, and Lossa has now put the gun on efficient fire, but its position's been revealed, so may not get another chance really. Does manage to fall back the Panzer B2, and it was showing side armour for a moment, but not getting the kills. Lossa just softening up these units in the centre, and he is now pushing forward with Kazakis, and I expect he'll follow these or push these straight through and attempt to take hold of this town. And this could be a nice little set piece movement here, bombarding with the artillery beforehand and then moving forward with the Kazaki supported by the Valentine 9. And very nice play here actually, very steady, very cool and calm. The Kazaki PPSH finally come in and take on the Ersatztruppen. The lag strike came in there. I'm not sure exactly what that hit. I think it was the Ersatztruppen in the southern building. The M42 gun does go down in the north. Amber team reinforcing with Pioneers, and this area in the north for Lossa is looking weak, and Amber T looks like he's coming in with a fairly decent push there. So this is going to be interesting how this one lies. Lossa pushing in the central town, whereas Amber T pushing back in the north. Who is going to win out in this engagement? Looks like the Kazaki PPSH are going for the church tower, or just going around them, and not the right unit to get in that church, so hopefully Lossa doesn't put them there. More lag strikes coming in, aiming to take out the Pack 43, and these Flatfellings are making it increasingly more difficult for Lossa. And Amber Team now bringing in the G6 R4, but the 37 mils of Lossa are there as well, and this fight is getting fairly intense now in terms of air action. It's kind of both sides picking Maverick. I was expecting this to be a fierce, aggressive game, but very much a strategic game at the moment. The HS-129 coming in, I think, and aiming on the Valentine, but doesn't manage to get the kill. And coming over the AA of Lossa. Lossa now has 37 mils all along his back line, so he has set himself up quite nicely. More lag strikes coming in on the Pioneers, and both players giving each other time to build up forces, really. Very strange for Maverick income approach. Oh, the Valentine 9 does get bailed out there by the Pack 38. Lossa has the T-34-76 taking shots at the B2 in the north, and the Grand Fuhrer goes down to the artillery strikes, and slowly but surely Lossa keeps inch by inch making ground. The HS-129 coming in for the strike, trying to take out the bailed... Oh no, sorry, he did bail out the T-34-76. I was getting that mixed up there with the Valentine 9. That one does go down. So lovely little play from the HS-129. Both sides using their aircraft exceptionally well. So Lossa heavily reinforcing this northern side, and looking like he's trying to push back here against the advance that Amber T's made. Very quiet in the southern area. Lossa bringing in a few more infantry squads and an Emcher, and maybe he's building up for some kind of attack. But this central position, he's captured the flag in the centre, but I think he's getting pushed back out again. These Pioneers from Amber T are moving forward, and that pocket is closing and will do so. The lag strike coming in on the Pack 43 and does take that down, although he does now lose the lag to the Flakfelling, so will slow down those airstrikes. And I feel like, yes, another Flakfelling on the way from Amber T, and that's going to make it incredibly hard with two of them there. So it looks like Lossa is now pushing forward again with the Kazaki SVTs, and Amber T has the two MG42s here out in the open and ripping to shreds these Kazaki units, and It's rare that you see these MG42s being used, and they're doing a great job. They're taking shots from the Emcher, but they're certainly pinning down all the units, and wow. Hell of a lot of units coming into this central area now as well. And the HS-129 incendiary hit and takes out the Sherman. Beautiful aircraft play. The Jagdpanther now coming into the centre. Let's see if we can get a look at that bad boy. Beautiful looking unit. As the rinky-dink transports go through there. Lovely looking unit. Let's pull back out and get back to the action. So we're still even, still 12-12. Lossa picked up an early lead 13-11 but couldn't hold it, and we're still at 12-12, 18 minutes into the game, and each side each player respecting, you know, the abilities of their opponent and playing quite cautiously despite the Maverick income. The looks like Lossa has or is in the process of launching a strike in the southern area. The lag takes down the IG-18, and those lags have done a fantastic job for Lossa throughout this game, bringing in a hell of a lot of two-star T-34s, and he has the Osnaz Sapari potentially to provide him with recon as well, although at the moment well behind his own lines. Looks like he's pushing forward in this southern area, and if he can get rid of this Marder 3 then potentially has the chance to advance. The Marder 3 now engaging, and the T-34s should reply. Yes, the Marder 3 does get bailed out, and the T-34s will now fire on the Grenadier infantry. So Lossa moving forward, retreating again, and then pushing back up with his infantry now that the enemy's infantry is being suppressed. That HS-129 has reared its ugly head, does take strikes on the T-34. Yes, does take out another one. Bails, yeah, takes out two of them, and a second one coming in. Beautiful, all three T-34s taken out. Fantastic play. Lossa has to find a way to take out those HS-129s, because at the moment his anti-air is decent to, you know, keep them at bay from his rear line, but they are currently doing a lot of damage. This LA-7 going straight after them, but flying over this flatvilling, and I think that one's going to lose it. Will it just get out? It does. It does just get out. That was terrible camera work. So, we have got Kazaki PPSH pushing through, and in now come more Marder 2s and a Stug 3G, so Lossa making a bit of progress, but not a hell of a lot of progress. He's now brought in A19 122mm artillery pieces, and he is shelling the infantry of Amber T. But the T-34s being taken out has given time for Amber T to reinforce, and it's a shame there that Lossa didn't continue the Kazaki down to this southern compound, but he does surrender the grenadiers that were in that position, and he will pick up this southern flag, finally getting the 13-11 back again. 22 minutes into the game, and if it stays the same he will win in 28 minutes time, but these Kazaki SVTs very stressed out, and if he doesn't get those out of the way, yes, they are pinned down now, and he'll have to fall those back. And I think, yeah, they did take a shot from their own artillery fire there as well. So there goes the flag again, back to a 12-12, and in comes the lag strike, going for the infantry in that area, and does help out, but not really taking anything out there. He is bringing forward an 85mm, and that will do a lot better at suppressing the HS-129s earlier, and it will also offer some decent anti-tank into a position that overlooks quite a long distance. So nice little decision there by Lossa to bring out that 85mm. Looks like Amber T is pushing forwards on this central town, and Lossa really only has 2 Kazaki left, but bringing in reinforcements just in time, and I'm surprised the Jagdpanther has not done more work at this stage. I'm very surprised that is not just on this road, on this crossroads, just looking down the supply route, because Lossa will struggle to penetrate that 114mm of armour. So Amber T does need to get that unit into position. Sherman going down in the north, and Amber T definitely launching an attack in the north. And you've got to say, actually, the 9th Guards Cavalry, usually an A and B phase division, the longer they go into this game, I think the worse off they're going to be. And we're now into the middle of phase C, and I feel like the quality of units that the 9th Guards get doesn't really improve throughout the game, whereas, you know, Amber T gets access to a few more decent quality units, such as the Jagdpanther. So I feel the longer the game goes on, the more chance Amber T has to win this one. Still at a 12-12 though, and this northern push is slowly putting pressure on this flag in the north, and a PTRS 41 coming in, but no more armour to take on these Marder 2s. Potentially Lossa could be in trouble here. Just bring in the lag series, targeting the Marder 2s. Fallbacks one, but doesn't get the kill, and does go down now. The 2 Flakflings, you might be able to escape from one, but you've got no chance against 2 of them. Flakflings very strong in this game, and 2 Flakflings will pretty much take out any low resilience plane. So forward come in the Bayo Kubal 380mm, and this thing will pack a massive punch. Let's see what Amber T aims to use in this, because there isn't I'm going to guess maybe he's going to aim on this southern forest and maybe this forest here, but you know, there isn't a huge concentration of forces here, so I think maybe he's overestimating what Lossa has in this southern area. A bit more infantry on the side of Amber T, and he could definitely push back through this southern side, especially if he managed to bring out a Jagdpanzer into this sort of overlooking light forest. The 85mm of Lossa is now set up and should do some decent damage. Perhaps, maybe that's what Amber T was thinking about, bringing in the 38mm, the 380mm off map. So the LA-7 being used to strafe the Ersatstruppen, and the Sapri PPSH should take them out and pick up this flag. Amber T did just gain a 1311 for a moment, moving those Ersatstruppen in there. And he has pushed forward in the north, and slowly he is making progress. It looks like the Jagdpanther has been gun jammed and tracks broken. I would love to have known what has managed to do that. Gun jammed and tracks broken. I'm assuming it's maybe a side shot coming from this heavy forest, but What it actually was that did that, I do not know at this point. The LA-7 coming in and dying in this northern side. No more chance to use airplane in this north with 2 flak fillings. Unless Lossa targets them with his artillery, there's no way he's going to be able to use his planes anymore on that northern side. And in comes the HS-129, potentially targeting this Emcher, yes, and does get the loader kill and the second kill. In comes the fire from the 85mm, but just too late, and I'd be surprised if that HS-129 goes down. So look at the territory swing here. Lossa, he only has the Osnaz Sapori there, who, although they do have the recon tab, this is actually very interesting. Sorry, yes, they are recon units. I was getting confused there with the Osnaz, who are infantry units, but they have a recon tag. So the Osnaz Sapori, they won't hold this front line forward, which is why we saw it swing so heavily. And that will give Amber T the knowledge that there's nothing down here, and he should be pushing up fairly aggressively. Back to the northern section. Yes, the flak fillings being targeted by the artillery, and that is what Lossa needs to do to continue his air assaults. Look at that. I believe that was the PTRS-41 there. Probably taking the side shot at the Stug 3G. Must have been the PTRS-41. So, I'm quite surprised Amber T hasn't moved forward the supply truck to try and fix up the gun-jammed Jagdpanther. I would have thought he'd aim to fix that one up, and Amber T now marking positions of Lossa's artillery, and looks like he's going to engage in some counter battery. The game is now 29 minutes in and we are 12-12, and yes, counter battery incoming from Amber T. He's had enough of Lossa's artillery. The HS-129s, double HS-129 coming in the northern side and looking to target the 2 T-34s in there. And if we look at the armour on the side of Lossa, it has been picked off. So Amber T's utilised these airstrikes really effectively to take out these units. Down goes one of the T-34s. Amber T looks like he evacuated the other one early. Potentially the second one moved back and Amber T lost line of sight on that unit, which is why he evac'd. Lossa, look at the amount of artillery strikes on this city. He's been bombarding it for such a long time and moving forward with infantry, and could potentially retake that central area if Amber T is not worried. And he has lost the Jagdpanther potentially to artillery fire from the Su-76Ms. Could have also been the Kazaki with the... No, these had only just come in. It must have been the artillery fire that took that unit out. Amber T again marking for counter battery, and looks like not quite getting the strikes on the first. So he is now engaging again with more counter battery, and look at the recon units down here from Lossa, but none of them holding the front line, and the Grenadiers of Amber T are now pushing forwards, and they could be looking for a major southern flank. I feel like Lossa, really, he's not playing his usual game of manoeuvre warfare, and if I'm honest, looking at where he's going to gain a flag, it's actually looking fairly difficult for him. I guess his best bet is this central city, but as soon as he takes it, he's going to come under a hell of a lot of fire. I think again on this side, on the side of Lossa, he's underestimating what Amber T's got in this city area. if he just pushes through with 3 infantry units, 4 infantry units at most, he will pick up that town, and he just needs to do that. Luckily, we have the hindsight of being able to see everything on the map, and Amber T bringing in more artillery now, more counter battery, and this game is slowly devolving into an artillery matchup. The Osnaz Sapori will win out in the forest with the TNT chargers. Looks like a bit of a stalemate in the north. Neither side really doing too much. Wow, look at look at this movement order here. I think that's a misclick on the side of Amber T. That grenadier will not be able to make it that far. And in the southern side as well, bit of a stalemate. There's actually not a lot happening right now across the map. Amber T just really kind of focusing on counter-batterying Lossa's units, and Lossa bringing in another artillery piece in the north, and wow, this game is currently it's devolving into an artillery fire kind of match. Very slow, very slow. The Su-76s, they're also targeted in the artillery of Amber T. You usually don't see this in 1v1s because games, to be fair, you know, we are 34 minutes in, and by this stage, you know, most of the time, one person is usually quite close to winning at this stage, so artillery being brought in to counter battery others' artillery is just not what you'd normally want at this stage of the game, but both sides having maintained a 12-12 for so long, it's allowed them to kind of bring in the support units without having to worry about sacrificing the front line. So yeah, it looks like that's what's happening. 4 artillery pieces on each side, and what a matchup. So nowhere else does there seem to be a lot of movement at this point. Both sides are just microing their artillery. There's literally no movement from any of the infantry anywhere. It's just artillery micro right now. More artillery coming in on the side of Amber T. Each player's kind of they've kind of given up on their air force, kind of given up on their infantry. Oh, we have a moving Emperor on the side of Lossa, bringing forward the Sherman, and he does need to push forward in this central area. He just doesn't realise there's nothing here, and it's a real shame for him, because I think that's where he could pick up a flag, and this game could, you know, turn on its head a bit, or certainly give him the advantage. In the artillery stakes, neither artillery has been taken out yet, and this kind of displays why counter battery in 1v1 is not really a majorly effective playstyle, because if you look, these 2 players, I mean, top players in the world, and they're counter batterying each other, you know, great micro, but really only 1 artillery piece so far has lost sort of 5 strength, the rest remaining okay. So counter battery in 1v1, not really an efficient playstyle. So it looks like strikes have now come in on the Su-76s. They are retreating, so at least some action there, or some success on the side of Amber T, and really Lossa needs to push forward in this city, in this central city area. That's definitely where he can make up the ground. I mean, potentially as well, in this southern area, if he can push through with a few units and bring some supporting units in, he can potentially, you know, there isn't that much here from Amber T. He could overwhelm these units. So it looks like one of the artillery pieces on the southern side has now been taken down to 5 strength, and we have had an artillery piece go down on the right hand side. I guess some of the counter battery has taken effect. It looks like Amber T is slowly winning the artillery war. He has now got what, 2, 4, 6 artillery pieces online, whereas Lossa's only got the 3 main pieces and the 2 76Ms. So Amber T winning out in the artillery side, and could this swing the game for him? You know, if he does manage to take out Lossa's artillery, will that swing the game for him? Because he then has his supporting artillery, whereas Lossa will not have any. So potentially. Literally no movement. So it looks like Loss has picked up one of the 122s and is moving that into a new position, and bringing in another Su-76 artillery piece in the north. And I think Amber T in the long run has won out in this artillery game. Okay, so Amber T bringing in Stug 3Gs in the north and looking to reinforce that north, and he's got, you know, quite a few Grenfuhrers and battery Fuhrers in there, and a couple more Stug 3Gs. You know, he's fairly weak in this north as well compared to Lossa, but I feel like if Lossa really went for it right now, he potentially could have the upper hand, I think, here against Amber T. I feel like at the moment, Lossa's kind of got stuck in this counter battery play, and I'm not sure if there was something. Obviously, the 85mm fired on something, and Amber T targeting that with all of his artillery, and really I think it was a mistake from Lossa to get involved in this artillery counter battery matchup. Amber T definitely made a call at some point. So what was happening was Lossa was using artillery really well, especially the 76Ms, to bombard this city area and the northern section. If you look at the amount of artillery fire he's put in there. And there was a point where it obviously got too much for Amber T, and he decided he needed to counter battery that artillery. And what happened is Lossa got focused on this artillery battle, and really I feel like he should have continued to push. What he ended up doing was just kind of stopping and not continuing moving forwards and continuing the pressure on Amber T. And Amber T's now built up a substantial artillery support network, and I think in the long run that artillery battle was won in favour of Amber T rather than Lossa. And I think now Amber T moving in the south a bit more, certainly thinking that he'd taken down that 85M, but the M42 taking shots at the Stug 3G, and the Grenadier losing out to the, I believe it was to the Oznaz Sapri. So he has pushed forward Grenadier through the open and has kind of left this Sapri PPSH behind, and he is making a concerted effort now in the southern side, and Lossa bringing in Kazaki and Kazaki PTRS squads. So it looks like some movement in the north as well. Erzat's trooper moving forward across the open and perhaps testing what is still left on Lossa's side. Amber T now with the 6 150mm artillery pieces, really raining fire down on Lossa's static defensive positions. And I think the longer this goes on, the worse off Lossa is at this point. He has the 220mm, but he did lose one in the central area, and I think potentially outgunned in the artillery stakes, so needs to get them into play. The Su-76ers out of HE, I mean, he did bring an extra one in, and looks like he's potentially sort of massing some more forces in the north. The Ozat's Trooper have kind of stopped where they are in the open ground and not being fired upon, so Amber T kind of confident there's not a lot there. It looks like one of the infantry units went down to, must have been fire from the IGs back on this ridge, potentially taking out the infantry unit in the transport. And yeah, it's this Stug 3G's potentially posing a little bit of a threat for Lossa. I don't know whether he knows that, whether that Stug 3G's there, but if he can take out that Stug 3G and swing around this southern area, he might be able to push up into this compound. But at the moment, very static play from both sides. More artillery strikes coming in, and yes, Amber T definitely got the upper hand now on the artillery front. Maybe a last push in the north for Lossa. Su-76 is being used in the anti-tank role. Kazaki SVT's moving across, and is he making this push in the centre now? It looks like he is. Two HS-129s coming in, and they will target the I think they're potentially trying to target the positions, but the Su-76s did retreat, so not getting those strikes off, but no fighter support coming in to follow up against those HS-129 strikes. We have got movement now in the city, although a Jagdpanther coming in, and that will be difficult to take out. The Pak-38 engaging the M-chart, getting the spawning hit, but does reveal itself, coming under fire from the Kazaki now, and those Kazaki should take out that Pak-38, give them a little bit of time. Amber T reinforcing this central town, and doing so for good reason. The Jagdpanther retreating following the advance of the Sappery, and looks like Loss isn't getting this central town, and finally the push has come through. Loss has realised there's nothing here, and he should be able to pick up that flag, yes, as soon as that machine gun goes down. Okay, so Lossa breaks the stalemate, 13-11, and well, still another 27 minutes until this game will be finished. So the Jagdpanther coming in and taking shots across the way, and wow, Loss is going to have trouble taking out that Jagdpanther. He's going to have to get in close with some units, and I'm not exactly sure what he's going to use to do that. So Amber T's infantry that he ordered earlier is now coming into the city, unloading early to ensure it doesn't get taken out by the Kazaki's PTRDs, and good decisions there, good decisions. The Kazaki moving forwards and moving forwards on this sort of southern central flank to the city, and if these move up and into this central compound, you know, that commandant will not hold them off, and nothing really back here to help them out. Perhaps the Flakvilling could potentially get them if they cross up onto this ridge, but that's a nice little flank there from Kazaki and from Lossa with the Kazaki, and back to his manoeuvre warfare, and this is what I like to see from Lossa. More counter battery from Amber T, and pinning down the 122 mils, and Lossa just needs to avoid those artillery counter battery and, you know, take his strikes and then move his artillery. I think engaging in counter battery warfare is not going to help Lossa, I don't think. So the Emcher is gum jammed, probably from the Jagdpanther, and a lot of the armour's been taken out. Lossa has to find a way to take out this Jagdpanther, and it's moving across. This is what I didn't want to see, was it to move across and stunt this southern flank. So a Studebaker coming in to fix up the Emcher, and that must mean Lossa's low on tanks, because usually you wouldn't be too bothered to fix up an Emcher. And look at this attack coming in from Amber T. This central city area has not been attacked since the very start of the game. The Kazaki PTRS in the church tower take down one of the transports, and the Ersatz-Truppen unload, and potentially with the Pioneers assaulting as well from the south, this looks like this attack could actually win out. The battery Führer moving through the forest. I guess Amber T thought there was nothing there and gets destroyed by the Kazaki Razvedka with the 8 PPSH. And I'm not sure, Lossa's kind of left these units here, and I don't know whether it's a bait to kind of bait in units, because Amber T doesn't realise not any of them are there. But Amber T does now pick up this southern city flag, and that brings it back to a 12-12 and now a 13-11 with this central flag being taken as well. The HS-129s come in and looked for strikes onto the Emchers, but I don't think they succeeded there. And the Jagdpanther still kind of holding off this central position. It is getting side shot, I think by the Kazaki, but the PTRD won't penetrate. Amber T retreating really with this Jagdpanther, and I think that's his main heavy tank remaining, so I guess he wants to keep that one alive. I think Lossa's best bet might even be to try and stress out the Jagdpanther and come in for a surrender, but Amber T retreating back into the forest, and look at the ground. Lossa's making some decent ground here, and if he goes for an ambitious play to take forward, you know, the Kazaki, I think the problem is he's taking him right into the path of the Jagdpanther. Oh my god. Oh god, can you imagine being in that truck, facing forwards and seeing a Jagdpanther aiming directly at you? That'd have been a nightmare. So the Grenadiers now taking the place of Ersatz-Truppen and hoping to push out this centre ground. So far, Loss has managed to hold on, and the T-34 kind of controlling that open flank, and Amber T's kind of got this southern flank under his control, and Loss is moving forwards with Sapperies, but his supporting units are getting artillery. Well, they're getting fired by artillery. I mean, look at the amount of artillery fire around these positions. And I have a feeling that these Sappery PPSHs won't last out in the very long run. But the Grenadiers have been pushed back. The Jagdpanther is now loader killed, but a hell of a lot of supporting infantry coming in to reinforce this compound, and even the commandant must have pushed forward there to potentially to upvet the Jagdpanther. In comes the 129, although evacuates. I'm guessing it was going for the Emcher shot, but it does duck back out of line of sight. A lot of the Kazaki taking fire from the Grenadiers, and they are outmanned here. I think they're going to go down, and Lossa needs to just get some more troops in this city and hold on to this flag. I mean, it's still at a 12-12, and we're 52 minutes into the game now, and really neither side has... I mean, Lossa has kind of taken a lead, but you wouldn't call it a commanding lead, that's for sure. So moving forwards with the 3 Sapori squads, and you've got to guess that he will be able to take out the Pioneers if he can get into the city, so he might be able to take back that flag and push it back to a 13-11, and I think Lossa at the moment potentially has just the advantage. The HS-129 coming in again. I'm not sure whether it was focusing on this amateur or not. Those HS-129s have been vital for Amber T throughout the game, and they've not really been able to be taken out by Lossa. The Jagdpanther coming around for the flank onto the Emcher, and it should easily deal with that Emcher. Lossa pushing forward more Kazakis. The HS-129 coming in on that Emcher, and there's not a lot of armour left for Lossa, and what the armour that he has got. Whoa, look at this! The duck going across the water. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm focusing because we don't get to see this often. There's not a hell of a lot of water in the Russian landscape, and it's beautiful to see those amphibious units used the way they can be. Lovely, lovely, lovely. That Sapori unit will get out and take up position in this forest and will be a threat, provide recon optics, but on its own I don't think will hold out. Lossa has the 13-11, so he's taken back that southern central point, but I think he's going to lose this city point. The Kazaki under fire from sort of kind of both sides, so I don't think they're going to win out. Does do a commanding job at holding off the Grenadiers. Eventually gets pinned down and do surrender. So it looks like Amber T might follow through this kind of defence with an attack. The Jagdpanther moving forward, the Stug 3G on a fast move, as well as the reinforcing Grenadiers, and actually once this Kazaki unit goes down for Lossa, there isn't anything else holding back, so potentially yes. Does now unload. He loses one I think to the PTRD, but he is, you know, seizing the opportunity in this central town area. Let's just look back to the southern flank, because this is where Lossa regained that flag and keeps it at 12-12 despite losing that central one. I mean, look at this town. Look at the town. Lossa's got units in some buildings, Amber T in other buildings. Lossa's in some buildings, Amber T in other buildings. It's I guess this is kind of like Stalingrad, where the fight is happening building to building. Amber T continuing to bombard with the artillery, and what's left on Lossa's side has gone fairly quiet, so Amber T winning out in the long run from the artillery strike. The Oznaz Sapori that came across the river, or the lake, do now get taken out. Stug 3G, you know, focusing on the armour back here, he's pulled them around, and has the Jagdpanther gone down? I think we missed that again. God, that's 2 Jagdpanthers lost that we missed. There it is. So I'm imagining maybe the Zis 2 gun here, you know, was able to get that kill and then was pulled back. So the HS-129 coming around the sides. You've got to say that actually the AA on Lossa's side has been fairly ineffective. And actually, has it been taken out? I think it's been taken out by the artillery of Amberty, and nothing holding back these 129s now. I think, you know, these centralised pockets of artillery strikes have taken out the anti-air that Lossa had, and having played Amberty myself, he is a very, very good player, and he's fantastic with his air, and he's fantastic at countering airplay, and that includes countering the anti-air. So look at this HS-129 now, he's got pretty much free reign. There was an 85mm down here that he's taken out as well, and there's only this Zenart 37mm in the centre, the left for Amberty to take out. And let's see, yeah, immediately targeting that Zenart 37mm with his artillery. So he is strategically picking off those anti-air units, and that's allowing these HS-129s to come in and take out Lossa's tanks. So Amberty now has grenadiers behind enemy lines, and in comes the Kazaki and picks off some more grenadiers, and looks like a little bit of an armoured push supported by a support truck there. And another Jagdpanther comes in from Amberty. I can't remember in the deck how many he had, but look at that, that's supposedly out of line of sight there, but he did get a strike off. So third Jagdpanther coming in, and interestingly Lossa moving forward the Zis 2 gun, and that's probably his counter, as well as this 2 gun back here. It does go down, and that would have been a beautiful little strike if he'd have managed to take out the Jagdpanther. The HS-129 just circling, just continuing to circle and coming down south, and looking like it's targeting the T-3476. Engine destroyed, and does take that out. The crew kill on the M3A1 Razvedka, and the Stuck 3G pushing forwards, but getting hit by the Kazaki PTRS, as well as the PTRD of the Kazaki infantry squad. Shoot a knockout, and they're going to sit there all day and fire on this Stug. They've got 45 shells remaining. The PTRD's got 10 shells remaining, and the other Kazaki's now moving into position to fire on it as well. They're just pinging off the front. Oh, it's showing side armour now. Although the ME-109 fighter does come in and target the PTRS, it is now gun jammed, and that at least removes the threat of this Stug 3G. Cannot underestimate the anti-tank rifles that the infantry squads on the Russian sides have, and Lossa has cleared up this southern central area and gets back the 1311 with the movement of this MCHAR into this central compound behind the enemy lines, and 1311 now for Lossa will pick up the win in still 22 minutes time. We are now over the hour mark, and this is certainly about as long as games tend to go. Lossa making heavy moves with these Su-76s, although the HS-129 was coming in to try and target, but has lost line of sight on the MCHAR, and the MCHAR does retreat back again. Amberty, strange, he's moving the Grenadier up, and I think he was trying to get line of sight back onto the MCHAR. Does get the incendiary hits, I think, from the 129 there, although turns to face the Grenadier, and if he can take that out, should hold this compound relatively easily. The micro from Amberty just microing forwards and backwards, trying to kind of reset the aim of the MCHAR, and finally the HS-129 gets the armour crack and relieves the pressure that Lossa was putting on. Still has the 1311 from this flag in this compound here, held by the Su-76s, and this Jagdpanther is in trouble. Yes, does take the fire, does go down, and I think it was this 2-gun back here again. Let's see, can we get a replay of that? So, we can see the Emchers taken out by the 129. The Jagdpanzer moving into position. Is it the Zis 2-gun that takes that out? Yes, it does look like it comes from that direction. So this 2-gun, we'll see in the after kill report, but potentially has 2, maybe 3 Jagdpanther kills, and down it goes to the fighter of Amber T, finally picking up that kill with the ME-109, and Lossa back to a 12-12. He has now lost this central city again. Grenadiers pushing through, and will they finally beat off the Sapori PPSH? They do take down one squad, and really the supporting guns of Lossa are quiet, and I think Amber T, he has picked up the southern city area as well, and makes it a 13-11 on his side now. So 1 hour 3 minutes and 32 minutes still left on the clock for Amber T to win this game. The Stuck 3G still reversing backwards. He's kind of maintaining that unit there, and forwards the Kazaki Recon Razvedka move, and if Lossa can get the unit up here and realise that there's nothing in this compound, he might be able to swing units south and potentially push through in that area, but is now down 13-11 and should pick up the commandant kill from the Kazaki Razvedka here. And Lossa are definitely a fan of getting these recon units behind the enemy lines. The LA-7 fighter coming out to contest the skies, but the 2 flak rings will take that out, and Lossa not really being able to counter these flak rings the way that Amber T has countered Lossa's anti-air. The anti-air unit, the 37mm that was down here, has now been taken out, and no anti-air on the side of Lossa remaining. Amber T pouring troops into this central city, and it's not looking like Lossa has a hell of a lot left. I mean, we are now over an hour into this game, and these are Maverick decks, so you'd expect not many units left. Look at this beautiful flank in the north, and the leader unit gets taken out. The HS-129 taking down one of the Razvedka trucks, and the SBW-204 as well coming in with fire onto the other. But beautiful little northern flank by these Kazaki units. Pick up a flag, and now Lossa's got the 13-11 to and the 14-10 now. So it flips again, and Lossa will win the game in 19 minutes. However, it looks like his Kazaki PPSH are going to get cut off, and that pocket will reduce, and the Grenadiers potentially will push to pick up that position. No, they are pushing back into the centre town, and wow, this game, I think now both sides realising that they need to end this game sooner rather than later, as after an hour and 6 minutes both sides will be short of units. Ognamachiki coming into this central ground, and look at this, all 4 units, at least one of them gets out the transport, but it's going to get taken out by the entire infantry of Amber T, sort of the Grenadiers, all in the open ground. No supporting fire from the units of Lossa. He is now moving the Dushka to try and, you know, pick up some supporting fire, but not a lot here, and I think once Amber T breaks through, there's going to be nothing left on the side of Lossa. The recon vehicles allowing Amber T to kind of get some movement, and look at this, the Kazaki Razvedka moving forward into this compound. They are now contested by the Grenadiers, but if Lossa had only made this movement earlier, he could have realised there was nothing here and even pushed infantry all the way along this back forest line. That would have been beautiful to watch, that flank. However, Amber T making the moves in the centre ground. More HS-129 strikes in the north, and they've got to have taken out quite a lot of units by now. Look at this. This is the 352nd Infantry just pushing forward in a line across the ground through the city. The SPW 204 French little light recon unit coming in there as well, and let's see if we can get a better look at that. Lovely looking little light recon unit there. HS2, look, these planes, he's not even been retreating them. He kind of comes in, fires, takes them back a little bit, comes in, fires, takes them back a little bit, and because Lossa has lost the air game, what's happened is Lossa's lost the air game and he's also lost the artillery game, so he's really struggling. And Amber T, he goes 15-9 up now. I can't see this lasting much longer. 1 hour 8 minutes into the game, but 14 minutes left on the clock now. Amber T really does have a substantial presence in this central area, and Lossa, he has the odd infantry units here, but nothing else coming in to help out, and I really feel like he's out of units at this point. PTRS coming into the town, and well, this central town's been lost as well. I feel like this is it for Lossa. He's lucky to hold on to this central area as well. If these Erzatstruppen move across and close the gap, well, luckily for Lossa, the infantry unit here was taken out, although he's only got the Osna Sapori, so he's not holding the front line forwards. So it's really not helping him there. The Kazakhis moving forwards over the open ground and get in position to threaten Amber T's units, but this Flakveling, the northern one, has now been taken out, but this one will stand up quite well to infantry attack, and Amber T coming in with another Flakveling in this area, and they are very good at holding open ground against infantry, so they will pick up that ground, I'm sure. The PPSH do now take out the Erzatstruppen and will push the front line again. The SPW will not hold it open, so look at this territory change. This will certainly help Lossa out. Pulls it back to a 13-11 and gives him more time, but I don't think more time is going to help him. I feel like his deck is pretty much gone now. There can't be much left. He's barely brought any units in recently, and it's only a matter of time really. 16-8 now for Amber T, and will win the game in 13 minutes. The Lag 3 series anti-tank plane coming in, targeting the recon vehicle, should pick this kill up. Doesn't even manage to pick that kill up. That should be an easy kill for the Lag anti-tank plane. That thing can take out Tigers, but it couldn't take out that little French recon unit. So Lossa pushing back the Osnaz Sapori, trying to take out these Grenadiers, but the little 204s are doing quite well at the moment, just helping out everywhere really. The Kazaki in this compound, oh, and there we go, there's the surrender. Well, Amber T picks up the victory. That was a long one. 71 minutes, 44 seconds. Longest game we've cast so far on Steel Division League. And to be honest, if we go all season, I very much doubt we'll get a longer one than that. Let's have a look at the kill-death ratio. Look at this. I think both sides doing fantastically well over that time. And yes, Amber T comes away with 1,000 more kills to Lossa's, but really over an hour and 10-minute match, you know, that kind of difference in kills Lossa's is not actually a great deal. I think if you compressed the time back down to like a normal 30-minute game, you know, the difference would have been more like 500. So definitely not, you know, over flattering is what I'm trying to say. Let's have a look at the kills on the side of Amber T. So the Pak 38 takes out the 2 Emchers. The Panzer B2 did decent work, taking out the M42 and the Razvedka tank. The HS-129s, these were the units of the game. This one taking out so many tanks. So many tanks. Let's have a look for the other ones. Look at that Flakveling. Took out the Lag 3 and the LA7, as well as a lot of infantry. The Jagdpanther does take out 2 Emchers and a Valentine. I don't think that quite pays himself off, but reasonable play. Here's the other HS-129. Look at that, more tanks, lots more tanks. And if it wasn't for these HS-29s, look, that's 2, 4, 6. And the one further up was what? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So we're talking 15 tanks that Lossa would have had on the field. So he really did lose out from those HS-129 strikes. Another Flakveling taking out more units, and here we have the artillery coming in, picking up the Studebaker and Matador kills, and they're not to be underestimated. If you're killing their supply trucks, then they can't resupply their artillery, and you are going to win in the long run, and that's what Amber T managed to do. Does take out 2 more of the 122mm guns, and there was that period about, what were we, about 35-40 minutes into the game where it descended into just an artillery counter battery match for about 10 minutes with no movement on either side, and that's the result there. Another Jagdpanther coming in and doesn't really pay itself off, so Amber T's kind of got to question his use of the Jagdpanthers here. I mean, obviously, with the lower point cost on the side of Lossa's units, the Jagdpanther has to take more out. But yeah, I was surprised that those Jagdpanthers went down as easy as they did. We'll have a look at what took them out as well, and make sure to see whether it was those ZIS-2 guns. Another HS-129 here picks off another 3 tanks, and that's 18 tanks there, all gone down to HS-129 strikes. Let's have a look at the losses, and in particular I'm interested in the Jagdpanther kills. Su-76 doing decent work, as well as the ZIS-2 gun. There we go, yes, I believe that was the first kill, was the Su-76. It was shelling that town, so eventually just too much punishment on that Jagdpanther. Let's have a look at the second one. Yes, it was the ZIS-2 gun taking out the second Jagdpanther, and was a ZIS-2 gun also the third? Yes, a different ZIS-2 gun this time. But yeah, that did take out the third Jagdpanther as well. So those ZIS-2 guns did some decent work for Lossa. But overall, Lossa loses. Amber T picks up the game. Longest game recorded so far, but hopefully you enjoyed the cast. That was a difficult one to record, but hopefully I did a good job. if you enjoyed it, please drop me a like, post your comments, anything you want to about the games, post your favourite moments as well, and we'll see what your favourite moments of the game were. Also, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and you'll get more Steel Division League content coming your way. This time Lossa loses the game, and that makes the matchup between the two even, 1 game apiece, so both players will pick up 1 point. Eventually we'll catch up to current time with the Steel Division League, and we'll give you a look at the league table as it stands, but for now we'll continue on with the Steel Division League cast next time. So thanks very much for watching, I'll catch you next time.